It has been some time since we've had some Def Leppard here on the channel. We are going to be looking at Let It Go from the 1981 album High and Dry. Now, the reason I'm doing this, I was working with one of my students a couple of weeks ago and he'd asked me about covering this song. And it's just such a cool lick that I just thought, you know what, let's have a look at it. Let's just go in depth on here a little bit more and let me show you how to play Let It Go. And we're going to be featuring Pete Willis. That's the guitar that we're going to be covering on this, which later would be then covered by Phil Collins. But at the time, this was Pete Willis and Steve Clark. And of course, at this point, we was looking at the production of Mutt Lange. So in the song, we've got some big productions beginning to appear on this. Quite a number of layers on the guitars and, of course, on the vocals. But this lesson is just going to be pure guitar, and we are going to be checking out what Pete Willis was playing through this song. So we open up with that lick, which is predominantly played through the song. So what we're playing is this. That's kind of the guts of the lick that we're looking at. So we're opening up on the and of the 4, so it's a little leading note with the open A string, going across to the 3 on the A. Now there's a slight bend when he's putting that on. If you just play it as a straight 3rd fret, it just doesn't have that same bite. So there's a little bit of a pull. Hear that? Just pulling it down a little bit back to the open string. Then we move across to the 4th fret on the D and the G string. You're going to do a kind of half tone bend. Do you see? You get that? Pushing it up. And then we go to a double stop on the 2 and 2 on the G. And that's kind of the guts what we're working from there. Then we go back, repeat the 0-3. And then we play in the open string. So that is your main lick. We go back and repeat on the beginning. Then we got a C5 to D5. And there's the big hole. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we back in. So we got that long little breather there. There is another guitar there because Steve Clark does kick in his little guitar sound at the back there. Again, Mutt Lange production. However, we're going to go back onto the main riff. Now we're going to repeat this a number of times, just backwards and go. We get this lick. Now the change up here, we got this little rundown. Now the first time he plays it slightly different. So he's going to go. So what I did there was open string on the A to the 3 to the open, cross to the 3 on the low E string. Then we play a D5. So what I'm doing down there, I'm just playing G2 and B3. I mute the high E string and just playing through that open D string. Then we go back and repeat. That's the first time round. The second time, he doesn't play the open A string. He just goes. Also, what it sounds good is to get a bit of a palm mute when you're playing that. So as you come down. So we played that through. I believe you're going to do that 4 times. And of course, Steve Clark has kicked in at this point. Now, we're playing that through until we get to the break, which is kind of the verse, because the riff that you're playing there is the chorus line as well as the intro. So we come down from playing. Now we're into the second stage of the song, which is the verse section. So what I did, I had that break. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is just playing a open A string. Now, at this point, I believe as well, on the guitars, there is a slight delay being added to the track. But we get this A, 2, 3, 4. So that's your opening one. So I'm playing an A5. Then I'm playing across 5 and 5 on the D and the G. So it's playing over a C, but playing it like that. So 5G, 5D. Then we move up and we have got a G5 chord. He's playing it across the 5 and the 7 on the D and the G. And you can hear he's got that note there. He's got the playing up here on the G, on the B string. And then he moves down to a D5 chord. So I'm playing across 5 on the A and 7 on the G. And we repeat. So we've got 2 of them. Then we go into this typical Def Leppard feel. So we're going to do a bit of a chug. And we're chugging over the A string. So we get this line. Now, I'm playing your A5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. When I'm doing the 1, 2, 3, 2, 0. Repeat. That's where we come back in. So we've got our moving round. A, 5 chugs. Doing that C, which is over the 5, 5, 5 chugs. The G5, 5 chugs. And then we go. So we've got like that coming out of the line. And then we're going to go back into our riff. But of course, we have now played the open A because you've got that. Then we go back into the riff. I have to admit, though, when I played that didn't give me a problem, that little turnaround. So you're coming out of that. So it's like that. Back into your riff. You play the riff through, usual, do that 4 times, and then we're back into that. What we're going to do now, we're going to check out how there is a little bridge section going into the next stage of the song. So we're just going to check that out. So at this stage, we've got a little instrumental gap here before we go into the next riff. And I'll just play it through and then we'll break it down. So it goes like this. So what we have here, we have an A5 for a bar, G5 for a whole bar, then we have a D5, 2, 3, 4, but that one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we got this lick, which is 5, 5, 3, 3 on the A, going down to the G, and then we go back to the A5, to the G5. Now we're going to play this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So the next riff goes like this. So what we're doing there, we are doing a D5 to a F5. Then we're going to slide up here. We're holding down, so it's an F chord we're playing, but we're only playing the 10 on the D, G, and B. Sliding up 2 frets to the 12. Keeping your finger held there, we're going to do on the B string, we're going to play a 13-12 to the 12 on the 12 on the D. So what we got there is a G sus4 playing across that. Then we're going to come down, we're going to play an arpeggio through a D chord. So we're playing B10, G11, D12. So next part, we are doing a D5 down to a C5 with another C5 there. Then we've got this line here, which is 5-3-5 on the A string. Then we do a 3-2 on the D, down to the 3 on the A, to the 3 on the low E string. So we put that together nice and slow. So that moves through 4 times. We're playing that round there. Both guitars doing across that. Now from this part we have the break. Now this is where we hand over to Steve Clark. He's got this little slow section that he's playing through. As I say, we're only just looking at what Pete Willis is doing through that. So there's 4 bars where he's got some clean guitar lines that are being played there. Pete Willis does nothing. You come out of that and we go back into this. Plays through that again. We've got another whole section of 4 times playing that through. Now at the end of that we have got this line. We're going. So what he's doing on that, he's coming back into the main riff. So we got. There's your open string. We're back into our riff again. And what we're doing now, playing the riff 4 times, the main riff, and that is going to head us down to the guitar solo. Now, the way we enter it and the chords that are being played by Pete Willis are coming through the solo like this. Now he repeats that 4 times. When I'm playing there, I'm going. Then we play B5, 2 of them. Then we do a 5, D5 down to a C sharp. Like that. Then we do to an A. Then we go back to 3 B5 chords. So we get this. Let's play it nice and slow. We play 4 of them, but on the last time we will just play. So we've got it's D5. We're going to hold that for another bar. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go back into our usual section there over a verse. So it is going. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to our normal line like that, and we go through another verse section.